Hmm. 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 Somebody let me know if you can hear me. Alright, well, I don't know what that was about. I seem to have very terrible luck when it comes to doing these live streams. I don't know if I need to contact someone at YouTube, because, I mean, it even looks like absolute garbage. I don't know why. Don't know why. Well, thanks, looks like 4 of you, 5 of you, something like that. Let me see. Yeah, thanks all 5 of you for coming and hanging out. Hopefully it clears up the quality here. It's really weird. I don't know why it's like that, but whatever. All right, well, fuck, man. Let's get started. Let's chat, guys. Even if the quality is shit, as long as you guys can hear me, I guess that's fine. You know, I'm actually gonna be in LA, in about a month, so I think I'm gonna swing by the YouTube office and see if they can figure out what in the fuck I'm doing wrong. Because if any of you guys ever use, like, I don't know if any of you guys are YouTubers, but you cannot get any help by, like, calling YouTube or, like, emailing YouTube. They do not give you any sort of support. And I don't have an MCN the way Dead End Hip Hop has. So I don't really have any, like, direct contacts that I can hit up and be like, yo, why is this thing fucked up? Anyway, enough of the woe is me bullshit. Fuck, just throw some questions in here. And we'll talk about him for a little while, man. I see Dylan Connolly, he asked a question. He says, was just watching your albums of 2018 vid and saw that one album was by the dude from Cold World. What's your opinion on Melancholy 2? So, yeah, you're talking about, I don't speak Spanish. I don't want to butcher it, but I think the name of the project is Sangre de Mergado. Yeah, I'm a fuck up. I don't know if that's right. Anyway, I think Melancholy 2 is fucking amazing. I think all of Cold World stuff is really good. I didn't super dive into the most recent album. The one that was like, I can't remember if it was all ambient or if it was all like, I think it was all ambient. I didn't really jump into that one. It didn't sound all that interesting to me. But I think that Cold World is one of the better, like, atmospheric black metal bands out there. I know people call them DSBM. I don't really see why. But, yeah, I think they're fucking killer. Or he is fucking killer, whatever. I don't know. I guess I don't really have much more to say than that. I just think that it's a fucking great record. Hopefully their next record is actually another black metal record. I actually got a copy of their EP. I think it's called Wolves and Sheep. They released it on CD a while ago. Dylan, I don't know if you've heard it, but they also recently dropped it on vinyl. So I grabbed a copy of that. It may still be on sale. I don't know. But if you don't have it, it's actually really, really, really fucking good. But yeah, let's see here. Kyle Taylor, any thoughts on Code Orange? You know what, dude? I've never really sat down and listened to Code Orange. I don't know, man. This is gonna sound like me being an old fuckface, but I am really weird about modern hardcore records. Some of the stuff I really like. Some of the stuff I don't. I know Code Orange. I heard them a while ago, but I don't remember liking them. And they're one of those bands that I've been meaning to revisit. Yeah, because I mean, I know like the guy from Nails was talking about how great they are, and I don't know. I just been lazy. You know, hold on for 2 seconds. I'm just gonna plug my laptop in because that'd be the last thing I need is it to fucking die. Hold on. Ugh. Hold on, I'll be right back. Oh my god. Ugh. There we go. uh, okay, I'm back. Anyways, so what were we talking about? We were talking about Code Orange. Yeah, I haven't really gotten too big into them. It's funny, we were actually talking about Nails the other day. I don't know how many of you guys are actually on Twitter and saw any of that bullshit that the dude from Nails was throwing out there. You know, Todd from Nails tends to throw these like weird temper tantrums here and there, and apparently he's still mad about that review that me and Fantano did for Twitching Tongues, and I don't know, what he was throwing out there kind of seemed like a veiled threat to me. I don't know, I don't really take that kind of shit too seriously. I think it's stupid, but I guess he thought that we got a little bit too personal in that review, which I don't think we did, because I don't know any of those guys personally, so I basically just kind of said that I thought that Twitching Tongues was kind of shitty, but I think we were actually fairly respectful. I don't think we actually called them shitty. I was just going to ask if any of you guys saw that, if any of you thought that we were out of pocket or a bit too personal, just let me know. That's all. Anyways, it's really weird when bands find your reviews and actually get really pissed off about them. I would understand if it's certain artists that, you know, like if Lil B saw Dead End's fucking Lil B review and was just like, yeah, these guys are dicks, I would understand because, you know, that video was a mess. But I feel like when I'm fairly respectful, I'm just like, yeah, I don't like this shit. It comes off weird to me when bands get really pissed off. But it's kind of what I expect out of fucking tough guy hardcore bands, though. It's fucking silly. Anyway, Deuce, do you have any favorite jazz records or artists? I do not. I think I've mentioned before that jazz is one of the only genres that I'm super ignorant about. I don't know much about jazz. I want to learn more because I hear stuff and I like certain things, but it's like, it's just so intimidating because there's so many fucking jazz like subgenres that it's hard for me to commit to familiarizing myself with one. But I'm going to. I just have not yet. Because I like the more abstract, kind of noisy jazz. I don't like, you know, the smooth jazz. I'm not a big fan of a lot of, like, kind of, like, sexy sounding horns. That shit doesn't interest me. But the more weird, like, out there, like Sun Ra or Ornette Coleman, I like that kind of shit. So I'm gonna eventually get my ass in gear and get into some more jazz records. But I think right now, I think I have a couple, like, is it Kingston Trio? I think I might have a couple of Miles Davis records, which is some fucking noob poser shit. But yeah, I don't really have a lot of jazz favorites, but I'm gonna get there. Yeah, golden era jazz artists have like 50 albums each. Yeah, I know, which makes it even more intimidating to jump into. So, yeah, Mr. King 8050, excited for the upcoming Aesop Rock and Tobacco album. Fuck yeah, I am very excited for that. I'm excited for anything that Aesop Rock drops. He's easily one of my favorite lyricists. I was actually listening to LP's I'll Sleep When You're Dead today at the gym. And it just really makes me miss that kind of what do you want to call it? Like that golden era of indie rap when all the indie rappers were just really trying their hardest to put out the most innovative and crazy shit possible. And I really miss those collaborations between LP and Aesop Rock. Like that song, I can't remember what it's called, but it's that, God damn it, what the fuck is it called? Is it called Run the Numbers? I think it's called Run the Numbers. But yeah, the beat is fucking crazy, and Aesop and LP just always had such great chemistry when they rocked together, but, unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever see those guys rap together again. Hopefully one day they can fix whatever this issue is between the two of them, but I don't know. Just from some things that some people have told me, it doesn't really sound like it. Which is a shame. Which is a shame. Anyways. Where are we here? I was listening to Techno Animal earlier. Yeah, dude. That fucking song on the Techno Animal shit with, LP and Vast Air. Oh, it's so fucking, so good. It's so fucking good. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say about that shit. It's just, oh man. It's that nasty, dirty ass, industrial ass beat. See, I miss LP doing shit like that. Oh, I really, really, really do. Because I feel like that's where he shined the most, when he was over those, like, really abstract and dirty beats. I mean, don't get me wrong, of course y'all know I love Run the Jewels, but I love that old dirty, dusty digital sound that LP used to rap over. And for those of you in the comments here that don't know what we're talking about, man, Techno Animal was one of the guys from Godflesh, and I forget who the other guy was, because I believe it was two guys. And they put out a couple of records, and it was just like really noisy industrial rap. And yeah, if you can find that shit, definitely grab it, because it's fucking amazing. Anyways, I've rambled on enough about LP, but yeah, I missed that Weatherman shit. Dylan Connolly, favorite Bjork album. It's still debut. I don't think anything's gonna touch that album for me. I just think that was Bjork at her most playful, before she got weird to the point where she wasn't really making songs with any sort of pop sensibility. Which, again, don't get me wrong, I love all eras of Bjork, but I think that album was still weird, but it was still accessible. And that's the one I listened to the most. And I still remember when I first saw the Human Behavior video with the big fucking teddy bear. And I was just like, oh, this is fucking brilliant. I mean, I love Vespertine. I love all of her albums. I don't know if I've ever talked about this. I actually saw Bjork live. I've only seen her once. I think she's only been to Atlanta once in the past, like, 20 years. But I remember buying the ticket and it being extremely expensive. And I remember wondering, like, man, this is Bjork live. I wonder what the fuck this is even going to sound like. Like, is this going to be cool? Like, is she just going to stand there and be weird? But at the show that I saw her at, it's at this kind of bougie, like, theater in Atlanta. And she had a choir with her. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was like a Hawaiian children's choir. It was something that fucking weird. And believe it or not, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. She was energetic. She was definitely fucking weird, and the crowd was just loving it. It was just awesome. If you've never seen Bjork live, do it because she is incredible. I'm trying to think of what tour this would have been, because I want to say this is at least a decade ago. It was around the same time I saw Tom Waits at the same place. Another show that I thought was going to be really kind of boring, because it's like, you know, Tom Waits, he doesn't really play anything himself live, so I kind of just wondered, like, what the fuck is this going to be like? Tom Waits was actually great, too. Bjork was better, but Tom Waits was good, too. You just killed my hopes of ever seeing her, since she's only been to Atlanta once in 20 years. I mean, yeah, that's as far as I can remember, because I know I would have gone again, but I'm pretty sure that's the only time she's been to Atlanta. And that, like I said, that had to be at least a good decade ago. So, sorry, bruh. Kyle Taylor, did you get a chance to listen to Open Mike Eagle's EP last year? I did, and I bought the record. It's over there somewhere. I don't want to... I'd show you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen it already. It's actually pretty cool looking. Well, fuck. I know I have it. Where is it? God damn it. Alright, I can't find it. Sorry. Fuck it. I don't want to, like... Yeah, I can't find it. I thought it was right there, but believe me, I own it. I did find this. I was going to show this off to, I think it was Dylan that was asking about Cold World. Yeah, this is that Wolves and Sheep record, limited to 300, which is pretty nice. But, anyways, yeah, I know I have the Open Mike Eagle. You know, I'm really anal about my records going on the shelf in a certain order. And whenever I buy new stuff, it's such a fucking pain in the ass to, like, put this stuff in order, because I like everything to be alphabetized, but I also put the individual albums in chronological order by artist, because I'm like fucking Rain Man with this kind of shit. So yeah, all of my new stuff just kind of goes into a corner until I make the time to put it on my shelf. But anyway, yeah. I have it. I love it. I just didn't review it. And that's kind of something that I'd like to fix with this coming up year, even though I've been totally fucking shitty so far. But I'd like to cover more albums this year than I did last year. I had so much personal bullshit going on last year, but hopefully we get all that fixed and I can give you guys some more videos. I was actually exporting a video before I started this live stream, a new What's in My Bag video, showing off all the records and shit that I got when I was out in LA this past time. So that'll be up later on tonight. Yeah. Trying to see if there's any other questions I missed so far here. I don't see anything else. What else do y'all want to talk about? God damn it! Have you happened to listen to the Vespertine B-sides? I think all of them are good enough to be on the album, and are some of her best songs. I don't know. Have I listened to that? Was it released physically, Dylan? I don't know that it was. Or was that like some weird digital only thing? I don't think I listened to it, to be honest. I don't think I did. I guess I need to. It's one of those problems when you like a lot of differently... Oh, they're on the singles. They're on the singles? There's just... Oh, I don't know. The only that thing that keeps popping in my head was that weird like remix album, the one that had like Death Grips and shit on it. I don't think that's what you're talking about though, because I think that was for a different album. Either way, I got some work to do, I guess. So I will do that. I will check them out, and I'll get back to you, because we're gonna do these live streams more often, even if they look like I'm talking to you guys behind some kind of like matrixy filter or something. Anyways, Kyle Taylor, favorite Doom album. It's funny, for the Dead in Hip Hop patrons, I don't know if the video's up yet or not, but we just did a classic review for Food. And in that video, I was talking, like, I feel like, you know, of course, I've talked about before that I think that there's a difference between classics and just really, really fucking good albums. And I think that Doom has a lot of both. I think that he has quite a few classic albums that definitely fucked with the heads of hip-hop. Obviously, Mad Villainy. I definitely think that Operation Doomsday is a classic album, and that's probably my favorite. I don't know if that's... It's weird, man. It's like tied with Food, but I think Operation Doomsday, just because it has that song with fucking with MF Grimm, that one where the beat goes up and down and like their flows kind of like go up and down with the beat. And of course, I'm drawing a blank. I can't think of the name. I think it's like Tick Tick. I think it's Tick Tick. Either way, yeah, I don't know. I think it's tied. Food and Operation Doomsday. TikTok. It's either TikTok or Tick Tick. Either way, yeah, that song is fucking sick. But yeah, I love all of Doom stuff. So yeah, there you go. I have a feeling that FIFA would hate that album. Well, I guess you'll have to wait until the video goes up on Dead End to find out if he does or not. It is Tick Tick. All right, cool. His Victor Vaughn are so underrated. Yeah, you don't really hear a lot of people talk about the Victor Vaughn stuff. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I don't know why. Because I mean, all his stuff is fucking great. As much as I love Mad Villainy, I sometimes get annoyed when anytime Doom comes up, that's all people talk about is Mad Villainy. Like, that's the only fucking record that dude has. Like, he doesn't have fucking, you know, a shit ton of albums in his arsenal. And they're all good. You know, there's not a whack project out that has Doom's name on it. But yeah. Anyway, what else is going on with you guys, man? Has anybody ever seen MF Doom? Yeah, it's bad news. I think I told this story. Pretty sure I told this story when I saw Doom on my channel, but it was some bullshit, and I actually cannot fucking stand people that are MF Doom apologists when it comes to his live shows. I don't give a fuck about his whole villain thing. I don't give a fuck about what he did for New York rap. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I don't think it's cool to go up there and pretend that you're MF Doom, but you're really some fucking imposter that's just rapping over, or just like lip syncing over a backing track. Especially for the price that he charges for his shows. I don't even think he does that shit anymore, but I'm still fucking salty over that shit, and that was probably 15 years ago. But I'm still mad about that shit. I was up until fucking 3 a.m. in that bitch waiting for fucking MF Doom to get his ass on stage, and he fucking pulled that shit. Anyways, enough about MF Doom. He's still a fucking legend. He's still a wordsmith. He's still a goddamn genius when it comes to rapping. But he's a fuckboy when it comes to doing live shows. Excuse me. Hiccup. Dylan God. Dylan asks, overall opinion on Over. I've heard the first 4 albums and thought the first one was a great entry into black metal. Over's one of my all-time favorite bands. I'm trying to think if I would say that that's a great entry. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would say is a great entry into black metal anyway. Because I'm some stuck-up asshole that thinks that, you know, not everything's made for everybody. So, I don't think that black metal is made for everyone. Just like I don't think hip hop is made for everyone. You can take that how you will. It's just the way I feel. That all that said, yeah, I love everything Over has done, from the black metal stuff to the folk stuff of Bergthad to even their techno-ish stuff. The Perdition City, I think, is an absolutely brilliant album. And I remember, I'm old, you guys, so I remember when that album came out in the, what the fuck was it, late 90s or something? Late 90s when the album came out? It's right here. Let me look. I'm curious. Oh, where is it? Perdition City. Perdition City. 2000. Yeah, 2000. God damn. Old. It's so weird to think how this album came out fucking almost 20 years ago, man. And yeah, I don't know if I think this version is actually kind of rare, this weird like thick one. Anyways, I remember being a huge fan of Over. I got into Over with Nathan's Madrigal, like most other black metal dudes back then. And I remember thinking that album was just so amazing. And the cool thing was, it was just like, it had so many stories around it. So many, like, all this mysticism was around this record. And I know you guys now in 2019, you're just like, information is spread so easily, so it doesn't really matter. You don't understand the magnitude of this shit. But in fucking 2000, when there wasn't an internet the way it is now, there was just all these stories that were word of mouth. The whole thing where they said that they recorded everything out in the woods. And, I'm not going to say how old I was in 2000, but, even at that age, I remember thinking, like, God damn it, this is so fucking cool. This is one of the things that solidified my love of black metal. It was like, oh, what a bizarre thing for a band to do, to just go out in the middle of the woods with their instruments and record an album. And I don't know how familiar you guys are with that album, but that when you turn it on, you hear like the sound. It sounds like a twig breaking, and I don't know if they did it on purpose or if that really was them stepping on a twig, walking out into the woods to record their album. But yeah, they're easily one of my favorite fucking bands. I think that Garm is an incredibly brilliant person when it comes to music. And if you just watch an interview with him or read an interview with him, he's such an interesting guy. And the thing is, they've been pushing. No, Nat's Madrigal was the third album. Anyways, they've been pushing boundaries since they started. They were one of the first bands to come out and then kind of like break away from black metal and just start doing just whatever the fuck they wanted. That was unheard of back then, Black metal was so serious in the late 90s and early 2000s. For a band like Over to decide, we're no longer going to make black metal, instead we're going to make this weird, like, I don't know, like synth, I don't want to call it synth pop. I don't know what the fuck you call it. Like this weird techno-ish, industrial-ish, synthy stuff. I think that that's what kind of gave credence to the other bands to do the same thing. Because if you think about it, all of those Norwegian black metal bands, except Gorgoroth, really, kind of broke away and started doing like weird shit. Satyricon, they still played black metal, but they played more like rock and roll-ish black metal. Of course, Dark Throne became a fucking punk band. Emperor, of course, became a prog band. Enslaved, they went the whole Viking metal route. None of those guys really stayed playing just like strictly black metal. But one of these days, I really hope to see Over. I've communicated with those guys online because of my YouTube channel. But I would just love to meet Garm and just talk to him and he's been one of my musical heroes for a really, really, really long time. So, yeah, that was a long rant about Over. Ugh! Alright, let's go back up here. Kyle Taylor, favorite Death Grips record. Who? I don't know. Sometimes, most times, a lot of times, I think it's No Love Deep Web. I just think that record is one of the darker ones. I love the way it starts. I love Come Up and Gimme. Yeah, I think I might have to go with that one. I know it's probably the cool thing to say, fuck. I am getting old, you guys. What the fuck is the name of the main one that broke out? Has the fucking weird... Oh my god. And I don't... Okay, hold on. Money Store! Jesus fucking Christ! Yes! Thank you, Kyle and Deuce and Cedric. All of you guys are not fucking old with garbagey memories. Thank you, yes. I'm thinking it's probably that's the one to say that you love because that's the most accessible one. That's the one that people got turned on to. But yeah, I think No Love Deep Web, and then it might go to Ex-Military. Maybe then the Money Store, but anyways, yeah, I've got a lot of favorites. And talking about Death Grips is kind of disappointing. I know a lot of people were surprised that their newest album wasn't on my main list, and it wasn't even on my runner-ups list. And the thing is, I really, really love that album. I think it's great. Black Paint is an incredible song. I think that it's just... I think I'm getting tired of Death Grips. I think I'm getting tired of congratulating them on writing the same record over and over and over. I think that at some point they're going to need to do something drastic. And I don't know what it is that they could possibly do to suck me back in. I still put a Death Grips album on and I love it. But it's like, I don't really get excited for new Death Grips material anymore. So, I don't know, man. Let's see. I heard that they might be coming out with something else this year. So, let's see what happens. But, I'm not too stoked. I'm not flipping out. So, yeah, I like Year of the Snitch. This is Cedric. I like Year of the Snitch a bit less than Bottomless Pit, which I like a tiny bit less than the original trilogy and Powers That Be. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I think that listening to Death Grips, a lot of the fun for me is trying to decipher what the fuck they're talking about. But then after a while, it's like even that gets kind of old. So, I don't know, man. I think that Death Grips is they're kind of reaching their peak. They're kind of getting to the point where they're either going to have to drop, a Black album, or they're going to have to do like a total reinvention of themselves. And I don't know what either of those scenarios look like. So I'd be really curious to see what happens with them. Somebody asked earlier, I'm getting lost here with this. Somebody asked earlier about Blackie. I don't see it. But yeah, I do like Blackie. I kind of wish Blackie had stayed with the kind of industrial hip-hop sound. He does kind of like weird ambient noise stuff that I've heard. That it's alright. I'm not a big fan of it. But his industrial rap stuff was really, really good. And anyone that says that Death Grips was not biting off of Blackie has clearly not heard Blackie's like earlier stuff. I mean, it's so fucking similar. It's almost to the point where I feel like you should almost be embarrassed for liking Death Grips because they were they were biting, like they were like old Blackie sounds like fucking Death Grips, or Death Grips sounds like older Blackie. And I kind of feel like it's one of those weird situations where people will hear Blackie after they've heard Death Grips and be like, oh, Blackie's copying. And even when you show these dumb motherfuckers that Blackie's shit was way before Death Grips, they don't want to accept it. It's bizarre. And it's not like saying that you can't like both. I like both, you know? Just like I like Death Grips and I love Moody Black. But, you know, and I know that K-Death from Moody Black doesn't advocate splits in fan bases, but there's obviously like a weird thing with those two groups. But yeah, I think it's always weird when groups come out and there's like this revisionist thing that happens with people where they just start to pretend that just because they really like this group and this group was the first group that introduced them to this certain sound, that automatically means that they're the first group to do it, which is not the case. But yes, I still do love Death Grips. I love all of that old industrial rap, dude. Fucking Dialect was always my shit. K the I, who doesn't get enough props. I don't even know if he does shit anymore. If you really want to get into some real, like, weird industrial techno rap, check out Orko, the psychotic alien, Orko Elohim. He sometimes goes by. He did a record with Big Just from Company Flow called Nephilim Modulation Systems, and it's seriously, it's fucking mind blowing how good that album is. And it almost depresses me sometimes to think how ignored Big Just's stuff is. Like, people like a lot of that weird industrial rap, but they kind of ignore the shit that Big Just was doing after Company Flow. Like, LP kind of went one direction, Big Just went another. But I think that their trajectories were so interesting. Of course, Mr. Len, he kind of just stuck with like doing like boom bap indie rap stuff, which is fine. Great dude. But it's just interesting how LP and Big Just went these different directions when it came to doing like experimental indie rap. But Big Just's albums were so fucking incredible. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna move on. Cedric asks, I think you said you did, but I hope you heard Endangered Philosophies by Dialect from 2017 because that was so good. You know what, man? I did, and I didn't pay attention to it enough. I don't remember what was going on in 2017, but 2017 was a weird year for me. I guess every year is a weird year for me, but something was going on in 2017. I don't remember what it was. But I do remember liking that album a lot. It didn't make any of my best of lists, and I think it's just because I didn't listen to it enough. I think maybe I wasn't in the mood for Dialect in 2017. I think that's really what it was. But yeah, that shit's great. I even got sent the advanced promo for that shit. God, what label was it? Was it Profound Lore that did that record? I know it was a weird metal label that did that record. Whoever it was sent me a promo, and I still didn't even fucking review it. I'm a fuck up, you guys. But, yeah. Love Dialect. Kyle Taylor. Excited for the new Danny Brown album. And then Cedric says, I'm so excited for a new Danny Brown album, but I'm afraid he won't be able to compete with Atrocity Exhibition. I hope I'm wrong. Yeah, dude. I was thinking the exact same thing as you, Cedric. Danny Brown is an interesting artist, and I've been listening to Danny Brown for a very long time. I remember discovering Danny Brown through A$AP Rock. A$AP Rock had posted some video, this is years ago, saying how Danny Brown was going to be the next big rapper. And I checked him out, and I'm like, God, this guy's dope as fuck. And I remember I downloaded a Danny Brown album that was with one of the guys from G Unit. Was it Tony Yayo? Yeah, it was Tony Yayo. Which, yeah, crazy, right? No one talks about this album, but he did an album, Danny Brown, Tony Yayo, Something Snow. I don't remember the name of it, but Something Snow. And I was like, God damn, this guy's dope as fuck. And then I remember being at a rap fest in Atlanta, and I'm over in the corner buying a drink, and Danny Brown walks up and hands me a fucking a CD, and I still have it. He hands me a CD of The Hybrid, and he's like, "Yo, check my shit out." Mind you, we weren't doing Dead End Hip Hop yet. If we were, it might have been like the first year, so he didn't know who the fuck I was. He was just literally walking around passing out CDs, and I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I love Danny Brown. Danny Brown's dope." And I went home and I listened to it, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this shit is so dope." It starts off with that song, I can't remember the name of it now, but it's like, and I reps that shit right now forever. I can't think of the name of it. I think it's called New Era. Either way, God, why am I even talking about that? I'm just rambling. What the fuck was the question? Yeah, we're talking about new Danny Brown. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so my point was, watching his progression, to doing stuff like Triple X, to doing stuff like Black and Brown, and especially to doing stuff like Atrocity Exhibition, I kind of agree with Cedric. Like, I feel like he might have hit that point where it's like, where do you go from here? Because Old was great, but I didn't, after that year that it came out, I didn't return to it all that much. Atrocity Exhibition, I listened to like a motherfucker when it came out, and I still throw it on because it might be my favorite album of his at this point. But I don't know what he's gonna do now, and I think that might be why we haven't heard from him in so long. We haven't heard. I know he did like a Twitch or something. I don't know if any of you guys saw it. I didn't. But he did a Twitch where he was playing some new songs. I don't know if it was just beats or if it was raps too. But I didn't see it. But I heard whatever he was playing was fucking dope. But I didn't get any details on what it sounded like. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to stick with that weird route or if he's going to go back to doing kind of semi-standard hip-hop. So I guess we'll have to see, you know? Let's see here. Yeah, Cedric, it was called Hawaiian Snow. That was the project, which is still so fucking weird that no one talks about it. This mother, you know, there was an old rumor. I don't know how true it is. There was an old rumor that Danny Brown was supposed to sign with G Unit, and I think that's kind of where that Tony Yayo project came from. And again, I don't know if this part is true, but I had heard from some reliable inside sources that 50 Cent decided not to sign him because his pants were too tight. I don't know if that's true. It sounds fucking stupid. If that is true, it's hilarious. But I think Danny Brown probably went the better route not being with G Unit, because I don't imagine he would have fit in very well with that team. Anyways. Kyle Taylor, have you checked out any of FKA Twigs' music? I have, but very little. So little that I don't even remember what it sounded like. I remember it was weird. I remember it was very off-kilter. I don't remember enough about it to say whether I liked it or didn't like it. So, it's one of those groups I know I need to revisit, but you know, my problem is, it's just like anytime I try to like go back to listen to older shit, newer shit just keeps coming out and I can't fucking keep up. You know, I remember when I was younger, I was always like, man, I'm so glad that, you know, I like so many different kinds of music because I'm open-minded, blah, blah, blah. I look at it now and I'm like, dude, I envy the guys that only like rap. I envy the guys that only listen to punk rock. I envy the guys that only listen to pop. Your lives must be so fucking easy, man. You know, you only have to keep up with one genre. It's what a fucking first world thing to complain about, isn't it? You know, complaining about how much music you have to keep up with. Oh, fuck off, Myke. Fuck off. You're a dick. Anyway, what else do you guys want to talk about? I'm trying to think if there's any. I mean, I don't see any questions. I'm trying to see if there's anything I want to talk to you motherfuckers about. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm tired and I'm out of it right now. I'm not high. I'm just out of it. Have you guys seen any good movies lately? Anyone seen House that Jack Built yet? Let's go there. God damn it. Let's go there. Before I get into the movie stuff, Cedric, yeah, dude, Blockhead just sent me an early release of his album that drops Friday, and I cannot fucking wait to dig into that. Me and Beezy are gonna do a one-on-one of that shit, because Blockhead is one of my favorite producers, man. He's just fucking brilliant, and I'm really, really, really stoked to hear what he's got going on, because I mean, that song he did with Aesop is just fucking stupid, and the way he was able to craft an album for Billy Woods, and I think he did something for Curly Castro, but Blockhead is just a fucking brilliant, brilliant, brilliant man. Anyways, yeah. Cedric, I think the last movie I saw was Spider-Verse. Yeah, dude, Spider-Verse was so fun. So fun. Yeah, I loved it. But shit, while we're speaking of Spider-Man, did you guys check out the trailer for, is it Far Away From Home or something Far Away? I don't know what the fuck it's, but the new Spider-Man movie. Yeah, I got on and I watched the trailer and I saw that Jake Gyllenhaal was trending, so I was like, oh, let me go check it out, you know. I guess I am fucking nuts. I didn't tweet this out because I don't want people to fucking jump on me. Wasn't in the mood. But when Jake Gyllenhaal showed up as Mysterio, I was like, is this a fucking joke? I thought he looked stupid as fuck. And I was like, I just knew that when I went to Twitter and clicked on his name, that I knew people would just be tearing him up. But everyone was like, oh, Mysterio looks tight. Oh, man, Mysterio looks awesome. And I was like, seriously? I thought that fucking suit was ridiculous. He looked like an asshole. He looked like he stole Thor's suit and just fucking put some different draws on it. It looked so fucking whack. I don't know. But I don't want to judge anything that harshly before it's actually come out. I will definitely go see it. It looks like it could be good. My only problem is it looks like it could be a little bit too busy with fighting all of those different villains and all that shit. But either way, I love Spider-Man. I will definitely go see it when it comes out. I saw The House That Jack Built, but apparently there's an unrated version. Bruh, if you saw the fucking censored version, you didn't see the right movie. I saw the unrated in the theater, the one that was illegal or whatever. And yes, there are scenes in that movie that are so brutal that all I could do was laugh. There are scenes in that movie that were so fucking inappropriate that I completely understood why people got up and left. And I definitely downloaded the rated version just to see what scenes they cut out, and they cut out some of the more graphic, brutal scenes. So if you can get around to it, see if you can find the unrated version. It's floating around online. Mr. King 8050, I seriously recommend Blind Spotting. It'll make you change your list of best movies of 2018. I did see Blind Spotting. I saw it a while ago. When I went out to LA in November, I watched it on the plane. So, I watched. Well, first off, the first movie I clicked on was Predators, the new Predators, and I made it all of 10 minutes, and I turned it off because it was just so bad. And I'm not one to do that. Usually, if I start a movie, I'm all in. I'll finish that motherfucker. But that shit was so fucking bad that I just couldn't do it. So I cut it off. Then I watched Black Klansman. And you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. I know a lot of people thought that it was one of the best movies that came out in 2018. They also thought it was one of the best movies that Spike Lee's ever done. I did not care for it. I did not care for it. I thought it was good. I just thought it was... I don't know, man. I just didn't love it. I didn't love it. After that, I watched Blind Spotting. Now, here's my issue with Blind Spotting. Blind Spotting did not seal the deal for me until the last 20 minutes of the movie. I liked the rest of it. I thought the acting was great. I thought the story was cool. I just could not force myself to get invested into the movie because I didn't give a fuck about the white friend. I just found him to be annoying. And I know they were trying to not really put him in a sympathetic role, but kind of like show that, yeah, the dude's a dipshit, but at the same time, he's kind of a dipshit because he's raised in this environment, so he's not technically appropriating because this is just how he grew up. And I understand all that. But at the same time, I was just like, this guy's fucking annoying. I don't care. Daveed Diggs' character, I thought was cool, was way more interesting. But I still wasn't sucked in. Like, at some point, if he would have gotten shot by a cop, I would have been like, man, that was deep. But I still wouldn't have been like, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. The end, where he did that fucking, that rap song when he's holding the gun to the cop. That was seriously one of the most... I hate to sound like a fucking cornball, but that was like one of the most breathtaking things I've seen in film the whole year. Now, the reason I didn't put that on my list is because if that last 15 minutes had not had been in the movie, I don't even think I would have cared for it like that. I don't even think it would have been a blip on my radar. But it was that last scene of him rapping and showing that passion was fucking amazing. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's still a great movie. I would never argue with anyone that said it was their favorite of the year because I get it. I really, really do. It's just for me, it didn't seal me the way anything else that was on my list did. So yeah, that was my long, half-assed review of Blind Spotting. What else is going on? Have you guys seen Skate Kitchen? I don't know if any of you guys like skate movies, but if you do, you should definitely watch Skate Kitchen. A lot of people were freaking out over mid-90s, which I thought mid-90s was good. My problem with mid-90s is I thought that people were kind of hyping it up because it was Jonah Hill. I think maybe people thought it was going to be garbage because it was Jonah Hill. And the fact that it wasn't garbage made people think it was a lot better than it was. Or it's just a matter of opinion and people liked it more than me, and that's fine. My issue, though, is while I thought the acting was cool, while I thought the setup of the story was cool, I didn't think that the story itself went anywhere. It was just dry. You know, the way it ended was just like, what? Really? The little punk-ass kid learning how to skate? Like, that shit was cool, but it was like, what else we got here? Like, there's nothing that's sucking me in. Skate Kitchen. If you haven't heard about it, it's actually a movie about a girl who is a skater, and she finds this kind of like group of other girl skaters. And the thing that made that movie so much better to me was it was way... It did a much better job of showing the whole outsider aspect of skateboarding. Because that was why I got into skateboarding. I got into it because I was a fucking weirdo and no one would hang out with me. And I saw Gleam in the Cube and was like, that guy's cool. And I want to be like him. And I started skating. And I don't think mid-90s really gave you that. It gave you just, oh, these guys are already cool and they're skaters. You know, and they can beat people up and blah, blah, blah. When I was, you know, coming up in skating, we weren't the people beating other people up. We were the ones running from jocks. We were the ones, you know, ducking bottles being thrown out of pickup trucks, you know. And I think that Skate Kitchen, while it doesn't explicitly show that, it's closer to the spirit of skateboarding that I knew. So I'll say all that to say you should definitely go check that movie out because it's fucking awesome. Deuce, is skating still weird in 2019? Of course not. Skating is pop culture in 2019. Skating hasn't been weird since the fucking early 2000s or even late 90s, really. When I was skating, you know, I know it sounds like a fucking hipster, but when I was skating, yeah, like there weren't black skaters. There was fucking Ray Barbie, you know, Sal Barbier. I can't even really think of anybody else. Alfonso Rawls. There really weren't a lot of black skaters. That wasn't until the mid to late 90s when black kids started to realize that skating was cool, and that was when kind of like hip hop took over skating. That was when you saw like the really baggy sagging off pants, and you know, any skate video you turned on, instead of hearing fucking Black Flag or Dead Kennedys, you'd hear Razkaz or, you know, Souls of Mischief or Tribe Called Quest or something. But yeah, no, skateboarding is not weird in 2019. It's totally fucking normal. And to me, it's just kind of, I mean, I still like skating. It's just, I don't skate myself, but I still like watching it. It's just things have gotten so technical that it just bores me. You know, I liked it back when motherfuckers were going big and doing crazy shit. But, yeah, Deuce says, I got into skating watching the CKY crew. Yeah, that was definitely early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. I knew who Bam was back then. I didn't think he was that great of a skater. I thought he was good, but he wasn't like one of my favorites or anything. So when the whole CKY thing started, I was like, okay, that's smart, you know. You can't really get super duper duper noticed with your skating, so you may as well start up a crew and start up these weird videos of you shoving shit up your ass to kind of get attention. Made sense. I think I enjoyed those videos. I thought they were funny. But I don't remember anybody else in the crew that was actually a skater besides Bam. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I just don't remember. I remember I flew to Philly in 2001, I believe. Me, my girlfriend at the time, and my homeboy, Henry Derrick Ellis, we all flew to Philly to see him because him was playing the premiere of CKY3. Now, this is well before him was a household name in America. They weren't being sold at fucking Hot Topic, any of that shit. Any him stuff you had to actually order from Europe. I would show you, but I have like, seriously, like 3 shelves on my CD rack of like him singles that I used to order from overseas. I probably got every goddamn him single there is. But anyways, yeah, we flew up there, and I remember seeing all these dumb fucking kids, and I was just like, oh, this is what Bam attracts. This is so fucking lame. And I remember after the show, Bam was outside, and Henry asked Bam, he's like, you know, is there any way I could get footage of the hymn performance? And Bam shoved him out of the way, and I forgot what he said to him. He said something smart ass to him, but he shoved him out of the way and just kind of, and he got into his fucking limo and pulled away. And I remember me being like this fucking punk kid, whatever. I was just like, what a fucking douche, man. What a fucking douche. But I look at it now and I'm like, dude, you were there to see him. So, I mean, what did you want? You know, you thought that there was going to be cool people there in 2001 seeing him. You know, it wasn't like you were flying to fucking, London to see him, or it's not like you're fucking watching him in Finland. You're watching him in fucking Philly. But anyways, still think him is a great band. I'm gonna fuck what anybody says. It's funny. I get into like not arguments, but I watch people argue on Facebook. I'm really good. I'm a lurker on Facebook. I watch people fight about stupid shit, and I saw somebody posting about him, and all these fucking dorky black metal geeks were just like, "Oh, fuck that band. That band sucks. Fuck him." Blah blah. And I'm like, dude, you're making fun of a band because they're like dramatic and cheesy, but you sit around listening to motherfuckers talk about riding through forests on horses chasing dragons and shit. Like, you're a fucking dumbass. Or you listen to fucking dudes singing about Satan and talking about burning down churches, but you want to make fun of a band that sings about being in love and shit and wears fucking eyeliner. Like, eyeliner's lame, but corpse paint's cool. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, man. Alright, I'm rambling. In middle school, fuck off, Deuce. I was already an adult. I remember when that shit came out. That was when me, Henry Derrick, and a buddy of mine fucking rented a car and did some old, like, fucking Grateful Dead type shit and fucking I shouldn't even be telling you guys this. We followed him for, like, 4 shows. Like, in Detroit. Oh, fuck. Where were the other shows? I know we definitely went to Detroit. Part of me wants to say one of them was in New York, and I forget where else. But we followed him around for like 3 or 4 shows, and then then came back to Atlanta. But yeah, that used to be my fucking band, dude. Actually, you know what? Look at this shit. Hopefully you guys can actually see it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever. That's how much I like this band. Yeah, you couldn't really see it. That was actually a him poster. This thing is on like a delay, so I can't really see. Whatever. Alright, guys, we're going to talk for maybe another 10, 15 minutes. So what else you guys want to talk about for 10 or 15 minutes? You catch them on their farewell tour. Yes, that was the poster I was showing. I've seen him every time they've come to Atlanta. I remember that show pissed me off because I got there late because I'm always trying to skip openers because him has never had good openers. And I walked in and they had already played like 4 songs. And I was fucking pissed. Pissed! But they were still fucking great. They were still great. Now Villa's in some new band, Villa Vallo and the Agents or something. And it's not good, man. It's not good at all. Whack. Alright, guys, what else you want to talk about for a few more minutes? Anything? Let me think if there's anything else I want to talk about. Shit. I'm looking through my records to see if there's anything cool that might spark something, but there's not. Yeah. I should probably make a list of things to talk about before I jump on here. Let me see. How many people are actually in this chat? Let me see here. Well, there's 7 people in here. It's interesting. There's 7 people in here, but I think there's like 25 patrons that are $5 and up patrons. And I don't know. It kind of bums me out sometimes that they don't come. Well, actually, it bummed me out a lot last time because I started up a live stream and literally no one came in. And I was like, all right, well, I guess they don't want these anymore, which is why I haven't done one in a while. But I want to do these more because, even though essentially this feels like I'm sitting around talking to myself, it's cool to talk to a select few of you guys, just talk about bullshit. Because it seems like the guys that ask questions are always pretty interesting ones. Anyways, Cedric is asking, have you heard Oil of Every Pearls by Sophie? No, you know what? I haven't. I did a video with Curtis from the Pitch Control and my homeboy Rich Owens. I did a kind of like a half-ass best of video with those guys, and Rich mentioned the Sophie album, and I think I had skimmed it and I liked it, but I didn't return to it enough to kind of understand it. So I need to go back to it and give it another listen, because from what Rich said and from what I remember, I think I would really dig it. So I'm going to revisit it, Cedric. Kyle Taylor, thoughts on Gojira? You know, Gojira was after my time. I never got into them. So much to the point where I kind of lumped them in with a lot of those other bands. Like, I remember them touring with fucking, not Seven Dust. What's the band that Max Cavalera started after Sepultura? You guys, I am on a fucking roll with my shitty memory tonight. And I don't want anybody to tell me. I want to fucking remember. I know it starts with a god. Soulfly! Soulfly! Fucking Soulfly. Jesus. Yes, I remember them being on tour with Soulfly and not going, of course, but hearing all of my like metal friends being like, "Oh my god, this band's heavy, but they, you know, they're kind of like a heavy nu metalish sound." But I never really got nu metal from Gojira. I just kind of got that they were just kind of like really chunky, but I never got into them. And then it got to a point where I was listening to mostly black metal and death metal. So going back and listening to something that wasn't either of those things just didn't really interest me that hard. But you know, I've been meaning to go back and check them out. You know, the homie Chesky was actually talking about them fairly, not recent, but you know, maybe a little while back. So I need to go check them out again. Which, speaking of Chesky, you guys make sure you check out his new album when it comes out. I don't know if there's any Chesky fans in here, but god damn it, his new album is fucking incredible. He dropped a song called fuck, man. My memory. It's like Something No. I don't remember the name of it. Something No. Say No More, maybe? I think that's the name of the song. But it's fucking awesome, you guys. It's really, really good. I'll tell you a quick story about when I was in LA this past time. I went out there for my brother's. He was in a play, so me and my mom flew out there. And I broke away for one night, and Chesky hit me. He's like, "Yo, I'm actually in LA, and do you want to come out and hang out and talk?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, of course. I want to come out and hang out and talk." Because, you know, whenever I see Chesky, it's when he's playing in Atlanta, and we don't really get to talk that much, because show settings are really not the best places to have discussions. But he's such an interesting person. I really wanted to like sit down and have like a real talk. I get there, and they're playing at this place. Actually, I'm sorry, they're not playing. Sorry. He's at this place and he's watching this other band called Rituals of Mine that are fucking awesome, amazing. So I'm hanging out with Chesky. Sadistic shows up. Which I wasn't expecting to see him, so that was fucking dope. So Sadistic's there, Chesky's there, Raphael Vigilanix, he's there, which if you guys don't know him, you will, because he's got an album coming out this year that's going to be fucking amazing. Picture like old school Buck 65 type vibe, and I think you'll have an idea. Anyways, you guys, I have not gotten that fucked up in probably a good couple years. But it was like, I get in, Chesky gives me a drink. Alright, cool. Then Sadistic's like, bam, let's do this shit. Shot. Okay, right? Cool. Bam. Vigilanix, hey man, let's do the shot. Alright, bam. Then it was just like, drink, 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 drink. All fucking night. Dude, we left that place and went to another bar. I barely remember going into the other bar. I remember walking in because I had to go to the bathroom, and then I remember not being able to find everyone, and I just randomly walked over to some table. It was a Mexican dance, like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't know the name of the type of dance, and it's not mariachi. It's a certain type of dance that is very prominent in that culture, but it was that type of bar. Is it paisa? Something like that. Anyways, so it was tons of like traditional looking Mexicans, right? Like these guys, they're dressed up like cowboys and they're dancing, and their women have these dresses, and it was just fucking, it was like out of a David Lynch film, dude. So I'm walking around watching these people dance, and I'm fucking blasted drunk, and I ended up at some table, and I fell asleep, alright? And I remember I woke up, and the table was just full of all of these Mexican dudes, and they were just like, they just kept saying hi, hi, hi to me. Of course, that was really the extent of our conversation because a lot of them didn't really speak English, but they were so fucking kind. They kept like, one of them kept like rubbing my back to make, are you, I think he actually said, you okay, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine, dude, I'm fine, whatever. And I don't even remember. I remember saying goodbye to Chesky and Sadistic, and we took a picture together. I do not, however, remember leaving that bar. I do not remember calling Uber. I do not remember getting back to my hotel. I don't remember any of that shit. I just woke up the next morning in my pajamas, under the covers asleep, and I got up and I was like, what the fuck, where am I? I checked, I have my cell phone, I have my wallet, I have my credit card, everything was good, but I felt like shit for like 3 days after that. So, yeah, if you ever hang with Chesky and or Sadistic, understand that you're going to be in for some shit, because those motherfuckers, when they drink, they fucking drink. Why did I tell you guys that story? I don't even know. I don't even know why I told you that story. Kyle Taylor, I listened to Broken Bone ballads based on your praise, and I loved it. Had no idea he was supposed to be dropping new music. Yeah, I didn't either. I didn't know he was dropping new music either. But I think that's why he was in LA, and he sent me the album. And yeah, it's insane. It's an insanely good album. I don't know yet if I'd say it's better than Broken Bone ballads, but it's a bigger album if that tells you anything. But it's such a well-produced, well-written album. Like, he's seriously becoming one of my favorite musical artists right now. Cedric saw Sadistic opening for Cage. Wow, with Mall School? I don't know Mall School. Somebody told me I would like Mall School, but I haven't got around to listening to them. Yeah, I'll get around to checking them out. But, Cage, yeah, I don't know what he plays live. Last time I saw him, he was playing with fucking some Juggalo group. I don't remember who they were. Not Flying Lotus. Jesus Christ. Is it Dark Lotus? I think. Anyway, it was bad. It was bad, bad, bad. Cage was dope, but yeah, the fucking Juggalo group was awful. I didn't want to go, but I wanted to see Cage really bad. We've talked quite a bit, me and Cage, so I just kind of wanted to see what he had going on. But yeah, he played all of his old shit, and it was dope. But that Juggalo shit was fucking embarrassing. I didn't even like being there, and I know I sound very judgmental, but dude, seriously, Juggalos are fucking lame. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Juggalo shit is so fucking lame, man. Like, I think it's cool that they've created this community of people that look out for each other. They love each other and all that kind of shit. But, man, that shit's just bad. Like, all that music is just bad, dude. Bad. Anyways. Yeah. Anyway, Cage's last album was pretty cool. I didn't return to it that much. Not nearly as much as I thought I would when he was first talking about it. When he was telling me he was making this satanic hip-hop album, I was like, it sounds like it could be interesting. And Cage is such an intelligent person. Sorry, phone's going off. Cage is such an intelligent person that I was like, if anybody can pull off the whole, like, satanic hip hop without it being cheesy, then Cage could do it. And he did a good job. It's a cool album. I'm hoping that Book of Sam 2 is going to be better than Book of Sam 1. But yeah, Cedric Cage live was incredible. He actually mostly played stuff from Movies for the Blind and Hell's Winter, and some stuff sprinkled with some Kill the Architect stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what he did when I saw him too. You know, and it's interesting. I've seen Cage quite a few times. Like, well before I was doing Dead End Hip Hop, I went and saw Cage. He played Atlanta. I remember, this is funny, he played a show here. This was, it was Cage, Slow Suicide Stimulus with Kamuteo when he was still alive. And I forgot the other group. Oh, it was supposed, yeah. So it was Cage, Slow Suicide Stimulus, and it was supposed to be Kamuteo doing a full set. So their sound was so bad that I remember Kamuteo played, I want to say 1 or 2 songs, and he walked off stage. And I remember Slow Suicide Stimulus, who I loved, they played like a couple of songs, and the sound was so bad they stormed off stage too. Cage played a couple of songs, and the sound was so bad he was like, "Fuck this!" And I remember he was so pissed off. I think he either threatened the bartender or he threatened the sound guy. I don't remember which one. And I want to say it was the bartender because I remember thinking it didn't make sense why he was threatening the bartender versus the sound guy. But anyways, that was like, I think, my first time seeing Cage. So it was whack as fuck that my first time seeing Cage was him playing to like, seriously, like 7 people. And him not really performing because the sound was so fucked. And I remember I met him. I got him to sign some CD. And he was nice. You know, he was cool. Then I met him after that. He played it here again. And he was much nicer. And then I saw him a 3rd time. And he just kind of was not cool at all. I don't think it was his fault. I think he was just in that show mode. But he just wasn't really trying to talk to people. Of course, now that I've done some reviews and shit, and we've spoken, I think if we met again, it would be a much different situation. But yeah. Dude, sadistic is hard as fuck. Can't judge a book by its cover. Not sure what you mean. Because he's white with long hair, maybe. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really look at that kind of thing anymore. Shit, look at Idea before he passed. You know, he was a white dude with fucking grungy long hair and was wearing Kurt Cobain sweaters. And he still put out a fucking amazing album. An absolutely amazing album. So, yeah, I still do judge books by their covers, but just based on certain things, you know. A motherfucker walk up to me now looking like Macklemore from fucking, you know, from the Heist era. Yeah, I'm walking away. I'm walking away, guys. Cedric, the Book of Sam, the hero of Book of Sam is that amazing producer, Jason Meyer. Hope he's doing the next project, but I hope it's better as well. I think he is. Well, never mind. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's one of those things where it's like I want to tell people stuff, but then people tell me shit, and even if they don't say keep it to yourself, certain things I feel like I probably should. But I think the album will be out maybe around summertime. And what I've heard is pretty interesting, but I don't know if it's gonna be my cup of tea. But I guess we'll all have to wait and see. Yeah, Cedric. Idea is my favorite rapper. Firstborn is my favorite hip-hop album of all time. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. It's a fucking great album. It's a fucking great album. But I do think that, I don't know. I listen to E&A a lot, but that last album he did, I remember when I first heard it, I hated it. I fucking hated it. I was like, oh my god, this is garbage. What the fuck is this? And I remember just putting it on the shelf and just being like, I don't know what the fuck happened to Idea, but he's doing some fucking corny ass rock and roll rapper bullshit. Fuck this shit. And I think I want to say it took me like 8 months to go back to it. And I was like, what in the fuck was I thinking? Like, it's one of those things where it catches you off guard because it wasn't what you expected to hear. And then once you get past the fact that, okay, this dude is not doing the same kind of music he was doing before, he's doing something else, then you're like, oh, okay, wow, this is actually a good fucking record. And now I actually think that album is the best thing he's done, you know? And, yeah, it's such a waste, the fact that he died so young. I mean, can you imagine the things that Idea would be doing now? You know, the stuff he was doing with Face Candy. You know, I just feel like the experimental realm that Idea was moving into, with abilities, of course, but the realm that he was moving into, I think would have been really just, I don't know, I think that he would have dominated indie rap if he hadn't have passed away. But yeah, I know it's easy to say that because he's gone. But yeah, he was definitely just gonna keep getting better and better and better and more weird and more personal. But drugs, man, it's a bad situation, you know, and it's sad. But he was just so fucking amazingly talented. Even watching his old once again, of course, my fucking memory. Was it Blaze Battles? Even watching those was just like, oh man. He just looks like this nerdy, goofy little white kid. And when he first comes on the stage, of course, I already knew who he was. But, you know, you could tell the audience was just like, look at this asshole. He can't rap. And he fucking just decimated everyone. Everyone. And it's just, oh, it's so fucking crazy, man. It's such a cool thing to watch. That surprise factor, but also just watching how amazing of a rapper he was. How easy words came to his brain. It was amazing. Anyways, talking about Idea a lot. Let's do a couple more questions, then I'm going to get out of here because I got some other shit that I got to do. Let's see. Dylan Connolly. Not sure if you've spoken about this before, but what do you think about Deaf Heaven and Black Gaze as a whole? I don't know that I don't think I refer to things as Black Gaze. I'm not sure if that's even like a real thing that people say. Is it? I don't know. Maybe it is. Either way, I like Deaf Heaven. I like Deaf Heaven a lot. I don't give a fuck, you know, if it's some newbie poser shit. I think Deaf Heaven's a good band. I liked Sunbather a whole lot more than I liked New Bermuda. I thought New Bermuda was very watered down. I thought that they were trying a bit too hard to battle against the critics. Like, critics were calling them like this pussy black metal. So I think they were like, okay, well, we're going to write a harder album. And they did write a harder album, but it was boring. The newest album, which I can't think of the name of it, but the newest album I thought was fucking great. Deuce, you're bugging. Like, you need to go back and listen to it again. The newest album was what New Bermuda should have been. I don't think that New Bermuda ever should have came out. You know, I think that they should have stuck with the sound that they were good at. And they didn't. But this new album is fucking great. It's really, really, really good. As far as Black Gaze, I don't know. Like, the whole shoegaze black metal stuff, I don't think it'll ever be topped by anybody more than Alcest. I think that they are the masters of that shit. I think that all of their albums are just fucking amazing. Because I think that the main guy, is his name Nige, however you pronounce his name. I think that he's one of those people that was really obsessed with things like Cocteau Twins, was really obsessed with things like Ride, you know, and those kind of bands, with My Bloody Valentine. But I think that's why their brand of shoegaze black metal sounds so authentic, because he's really into that sound. and he's actually a black metal guy. And the thing that's so interesting is when you look at the sound of shoegaze, the way the guitars are strummed, the production, I think that it lines up so well with black metal that it was almost like a no-brainer. So the reason Alcest is so much better than bands like Death Heaven is because he was already like a black metal guy. So he already had that side nailed down. And I think at some point he heard shoegaze. He heard like the better shoegaze bands, and it was just easy for him to incorporate it. So it's like, I don't know, it's hard for me to explain, but it's almost like when you listen to the progression of Alcest, it's like you're watching metal dudes realize that shoegaze fits in so well with black metal. When I listen to Death Heaven, it's almost like I just feel like I'm listening to a band that is really just a bunch of hardcore kids. They really are. They're just a bunch of fucking hardcore kids that were obsessed with bands like Uranus. You know, they were obsessed with like old screamo bands. But then they heard fucking Behemoth. Or they heard fucking, Dark Throne. And they decided to force black metal into a screamo sound. Now the thing is, I think just like shoegaze, I think that screamo fits in with black metal very easily too, because it's the same type of riffs, the same type of production, the same type of drum work, so it just fits in very well. But I think it fits in better if you're doing it aggressively. And I think that sometimes Death Heaven tries to force that sound to be pretty. It's really hard for me to explain. It makes sense in my fucked up head, but it's not making sense, I'm sure, when I'm saying it. But if you hear, like that band Nyrdolk, if you hear bands that are taking like the old punk sound, like Bone All, or old Raw Moon, if you're listening to those kind of bands, and you can kind of tell where those sounds are crossing over, I feel like it makes sense because they're aggressive. But Death Heaven, they're trying to force that sound to be pretty, and it's not working. Whereas Alcest is taking black metal and just kind of incorporating a sound that already kind of made sense to them. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling. Again, this shit makes sense in my head. It just doesn't make sense when I start saying it. which is probably most of the shit that I say. Anyways. Yeah. Deuce, I checked out Raw Moon. Wish they did more than that one demo. Yeah, I mean, I wish they did too. Unfortunately, they didn't. But they are in a band called Command now, which is like a raw death metal band. But it's fucking great. But there are definitely some babies of Raw Moon. I definitely think that this Nyrdolk band that's really popular right now is a baby of Raw Moon. Aucon, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but I think it's Aucon, something like that. Definitely does that punk and black metal thing really, really well. Black Boot is another one that does that sound really well. Yeah. Anyways, okay, we're going over here. I think we've talked about an hour, right, guys? And I need to eat dinner, so I'm hungry. If you guys are interested, I know there's only 7 of you, but I'm totally cool with only talking to 7 of you. I don't give a fuck. I don't need 20-something people in here trying to throw questions at me at the same time. But I don't know what the best way is to get a feel of if you guys want to keep doing these. I don't mind sitting here and even talking to 2 of you. It's fine with me. But I definitely want to do these more often and, talk to people more often. But if you guys have any other ideas for Patreon, then let me know. Outside of the fucking backpack classic shits, because I'm definitely going to get back into those. I've been slacking since the turn of the year, which is some other shit I won't even get into. But yeah, let's, good. Cedric, Kyle, Dylan, you all think that these are cool. Yeah, cool. That's 3 of you there. No, it's it's cool. So if there's 3 of you saying let's keep doing it, then fuck it, then I'll keep doing it. So, maybe I'll try to give you guys more of a heads up. Like maybe I'll do them like maybe I'll announce them. Is a week in advance too little, or is it better to do is it better to do 2 weeks in advance? I don't know. Maybe I'll try to do 2 weeks in advance, like letting you guys know, hey, and then just keep reminding, like, hey, we're gonna do this on this date, so you guys can maybe square away a little bit of time. But yeah, we're gonna do this again. Thanks you guys for sticking around. I don't think I'm going to edit this down and upload it because it looks like shit. By the next one, I'll definitely have this whole thing figured out as to why it was acting weird earlier and why it's all blurry. I'm going to talk to, like I said, I'm going to see if I can get a hold of somebody from YouTube. I'm talking to you guys about shit you don't care about. I'm going to shut up now. Anyways, I will put up 2 weeks and then I'll put up another, reminder in a week. And we'll definitely do this again. Let's do another one of these this month, as opposed to what's the date here? The date is. Let's do another one of these in 2 weeks. How's that? So, somewhere around the end of the month, we'll do another one, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys. We don't mind if you don't. If I don't do them, I'm gonna do them anyway. God damn it. Anyways. Alright, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for fucking showing up and chatting with me. It was fun. Yeah. Alright, I'll see you guys later.